Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are joined by the one, the only Randy Clark. Excited I've got to spend a few months with him here each and every week learning about the latest and greatest, how he's helping you men and women out there with hair loss and giving you that alternative solution and giving you that self-confidence back. So Randy Clark and Associates, let me have the man of the hour introduce himself, please.
Hello, my name is Randy Clark. I'm in Dallas, Texas. And I'm easy to reach, randy@randyclark.com.
And what it is you do, he's so humble.
We have a hair replacement business I've had for 44 years, and it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy it.
Just 44 years. Amazing. You would never know if you're on the podcast. You might, I'm not sure how old he is. You look at him here on the Zoomcast. He does not look old enough to be doing this for 44 years. So that says a lot. And the hair that I'm looking at on his head right now is natural. He's just blessed, unlike a lot of us out there that do suffer with hair loss, whether it's genetic, you mentioned, or it's disease, or those suffering who unfortunately have to seek chemotherapy and maybe it doesn't grow in anymore. So he's really here helping so many of us, which is a beautiful thing. And the longevity of his career speaks volumes. The clients that keep coming back, and can I say clients, are they bringing in their sons and grandsons or granddaughters at this point? I mean, this is like a generational thing now, right?
I have one client, he recently passed, but his two sons and daughter-in-law come to me.
See, that's crazy. All right, tell us a little bit about the process. Oh, what's the website? How do we find you?
Randy@randyclark.com, and it's www.randyclark.com.
And tell us a little bit about the process, what systems you offer, and what are they all about?
We offer daily wear and bonded, and with the bonded, we have the different lace pieces and the different skin pieces. There are so many different pieces made, it's ridiculous. I mean, there's probably over 40 pieces made, and we probably only need about a third of them. But, there's always somebody adding to the bulk.
And there's two different types of systems, right? You mentioned, could you specifically state the one that is it, I always forget, lace front? How do you describe it?
Well, you have the lace fronts, you have the skin pieces, you have the all lace pieces. So, I mean, it's just, there's so many different ways that they're made, and so many people do so many different things. I've always just stuck with about 3 or 4. I don't really get involved in some of the really heavily bonded pieces that they put on. You'll see some people selling a really heavier base with a lot of poly on it, and a M-mesh, which is a really sturdy mesh, and they'll try to bond it on someone for 5 to 6 weeks, which is way too long for the scalp. But they do last longer. That's the upside to them.
And I guess everybody has a different type of head, right? Oily, non-oily. So it's going to vary, I guess, how the longevity of a piece, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
But let's,
And another thing too, when it comes to the bonding, there are people that could possibly become allergic to the bonding and have to go to daily wear because when you're coloring your hair, you might color your hair for 40 years, but at some point someday it will happen to you that the color will start just giving you a huge infection on your skin.
Irritating. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then you won't be able to do it any longer because the body can only withstand so much. It's just the same thing with the bonding. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Interesting. Good to know, because I'm very lucky not to have, I have horrible thin hair, but I have, my sister went gray at 20. My mom went gray at 20. I'm 46, and now I finally have like some straggly little gray hairs, not much, but I did the past year and a half, I'm dyeing my own hair because it's not like I really have much to dye. So I'm like literally taking like the box stuff from CVS, like the Clairol or the Revlon, and I'm stroking a few things. So it's not like I need professional help yet, but I always wondered about that because I had a friend that the same thing, she was using the same product, and it was one of those over the counter ones for years. And next thing you know, she couldn't do it anymore. She was itching, she was sneezing, and now she gets her hair professionally done. So that solves the problem. But that exact thing happened to her, like an allergen of some sort. I've never even knew that could happen until her. And now you're telling me the same.
And some women who have, female pattern baldness in their family, dyeing their hair can cause their hair to fall out over time.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
and African American women, I mean, they're constantly doing straighteners, and that's really, really bad.
Harsh.
And they literally, burn the hair off their head. I mean, they lose their hair because of it, with the wefts from weaving.
Yep, the pulling and the
Yeah.
tightness, and
Mhm.
even, oh gosh, I get it. That was my first type of hair extension. I tried the weft, and they sewed it in, and my hair's so thin, and it's just like dug, and it just pulled. And it's funny you mentioned that. Just a random thought here, since you are in the hair business. My mother thought, okay, hear me out. I was 19, and I went to St. Martin for New Year's Eve with some friends. I had dark hair. I went to a hair salon in St. Martin because everyone else was going. Totally bleached my hair blonde, and I didn't have that type of hair. Now, when I came home, I had bleach, bright white hair that dissolved and frizzed and broke off fine. It never grew back the same. My mother swears whatever chemicals, Jill, they used on your hair, you ruined your head. Is that possible?
Well, bleaching is the worst thing you can do. I mean, because the bleach on the scalp is, one time I can't see a drastic difference, but multiple times, yes. Multiple
Yeah.
times of really hard bleaching on the skin, on the hair, can cause hair loss.
Well, I honestly think that's something that might have happened. I don't know what they used. Maybe they kept it on too long, but yeah, since then I had very fine wispy hair grow in, and it's never changed. But
Yeah.
so we all have our hair insecurities. We all have insecurities of some sort, but this is why it's great that your clients keep coming back, and you're helping so many people. And again, men and women. You just mentioned women. Talk a little bit about your women clients, and you mentioned what is exactly female pattern baldness? What is that?
It's just the same area where men are bald, except it's real thin. It's not. They lose the hair in the same pattern, but it's maybe they lose 75, 80%, 90% of the hair. So you can see the area. They don't lose all of it like men do, but it's so thin that they have to wear a wig, or they have to get a hair replacement.
And how does the process work for women? Is it the same? You mentioned the types, or how does it vary? Because it is heavier, right? If it's a longer hair piece, in a
If it's
sense.
long,
But
if it's longer hair, it's going to be a little heavier. But we deal with the women the same way we do with the men. It's just the difference is the hair length.
got it. So they put the same solution, the same adhesive, I should say, that sticks on a
Well,
female's head, or no?
we have probably 5 different tapes and 6 or 7 different glues, and so we just find what works best for each client. The ones with the oily skin, we'll use maybe a little stronger glue. The ones with the ones with the dry skin are the best, because um, it it stays on so much better for them.
Yeah. All right. And tell me about the process of selecting the hair, because people are picky. They're like, well, I had this amazing type of thick, this type of wave, that type of color. It's all possible. Tell
It
me
is.
about the process.
That's just up to the person who orders it, how detailed they want to get.
So
And
they
for
can,
me, I mean, I try to get as detailed as possible when it comes to that. I also try to order even the wave that they need. Uh, Now, sometimes I have to go ahead and put a wave in it for certain clients, but I always try to get the right wave for each client in the order.
got it. So you could do that after the fact, in a sense, right?
You
You could
can,
add
but
like a wave to it, or like today, got the headband on. You could put any type of wave, a curl and iron here, or I mean, like permanent though. Can you?
oh yeah, it's a permanent wave. I mean, I have African American clients men that I make pieces for, that they come in, and it's just as natural as their hair.
Amazing. And then how do you choose, or how do the people that are making the product? It's fascinating. I've seen some, so that's why I know. But explain it. Like you can put highlights in. You could put different salt, pepper, gray in a certain area.
Mm-hmm.
If the person had hair loss, but they're known for that little white piece over here, you could make it identical to that, right?
You can make it blend into whatever hair color they have. I mean, you could take someone that's really darker on top and grayer on the sides, make it blend. You could, I mean, when it comes to that, it's however detailed you want to get with it.
And in your place of business, and I know you have clients that keep coming back. And what would you say sets you apart from others out there on the market that have, similar type of systems? I mean, obviously they're not yours, and they're not, but what would you say sets you apart? And why we should come to you, because you do have people, clients flying in to you in the Dallas, outside the Dallas area.
I think what I've done is I've made my mistakes along the way and I've learned from them. And anytime that I had a client that was unhappy, I redid it or I gave them their money back. The hardest thing about this industry is that you have to learn your mistakes and you have to kind of hone your skills. And most people don't want to put that kind of time into it. They don't want to take they want the credit for the good things. They don't want to be blamed for the bad things. And sometimes, you just make mistakes and you fix them. And that's how you learn. And not only that, but let's face it. I mean, I've got a 9-month course in a beauty school over 47 years ago that cost $200. And
Yeah.
I am making incredible money. And it's from working hard and taking care of people.
Yeah. Beautifully said. And that goes a long way. And I know there's other franchise places out there we talked about, like my own
Mhm.
father went to many years ago. Don't give you that special TLC, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And, I love the story, if you are new to the show, where Randy actually, how do I say this? Put his money where his mouth is. You did this. You shaved your head. Tell me what you did again, because this speaks volumes about his character, who he is, and he wanted to feel what his clients were going through.
Shaved my head for an article in the Dallas magazine. And at that time, it was 1986. And, clients were not as open about it as they are today. And so I really couldn't get a client to get involved. And I thought, this not only be a good advertising, but it'd be a good avenue for me to see what people are going through. And I did it, and it was really helpful. It made me really realize how someone feels and how self-conscious someone is about their hair.
Wow. And what is the upkeep and the process? So people are aware where it is a commitment. It's not a one-time fix. It's something that has to be redone, explain it, and then
The
go.
average client comes in every 2 to 3 weeks, gets a new system every 2 to 3 months. So that's either 4 to 6 systems per year, and they will spend around $4,000 to $5,500 a year for the process. And what we do, we offer where they can just pay it monthly. That way, it's not it's just it's like a loan on a car, but they're paying it out as they go. And then we have clients who want to pay it up front. But we do have a lot of our clients are on the programs that pay monthly, and that's how they pay for it.
Wow. And a lot of people have more than one system, and that makes sense too, right?
Well, the bonded clients have one, but we always have new pieces on the shelf for them. We don't want to wait till the last minute to have one for them, so we always have an extra piece on the shelf for them, maybe two. The clients that are doing daily wear, they'll always have a second piece, but they only have one primary that they wear every day.
Wow. Now, speaking of, the upkeep and all, what is on a daily basis the things we should be doing, not doing to our hair? Because people say, well, I want to go to the beach. I want to feel good. I want to swim. I want to go on vacation. This is all possible. This is all doable still, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, if the best advice I give to women when they go to the beach, put a little conditioner in your hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I still think about Randy every time I shower. And that's no offense. I'm sure he's told his wife this, to his wife and his family, because he taught me a little trick that I've been recently using. And even though these are mostly hair extensions in my own hair, my hair is so much softer. Randy, tell us the trick, what we should be doing, which a lot of us aren't.
When you're shampooing your hair, you should always towel dry it in the shower before you put the conditioner in. And just grab your towel, dry your hair, then put the conditioner in and comb it through. Because if you put the conditioner in the soppy wet hair, 95% of the conditioner is going to go down the drain.
Mm-hmm.
But when you towel blot it and get that moisture out of the hair, the hair absorbs the conditioner, and it's much, much better for the hair.
And that is the truth. I've been doing that. Now I just shampoo. I even let it like air dry, run around, do some errands, and then I come back and put the conditioner on, and now it's like half dry. And then I sometimes even walk around with the conditioner on. I think it's like bonding to it, and then it'll come out next time if I don't. But it's that's interesting because, those products out there, those leave-in conditioners, if you leave them in for like 30 minutes, like they say, I'm assuming any conditioner could do what that's doing.
Well, leave-in conditioner is meant to be left in. I mean, it's a spray on. Usually, there are
Mm-hmm.
I know of one or two that you can actually rub on like regular conditioner, but most leave-in conditioners are spray on, and they are to leave in the hair.
Got it. Oh, I meant like the product. Like I have like, okay, I must have said it wrong. I'm sorry. Like those intense hair conditioner treatments where it says leave on your hair for 30 minutes and then I'm,
Oh yeah,
but I'm thinking what's ever in this? I mean, it's probably it's the same concept. If I left on my regular conditioner, it's probably going to absorb more further into the follicle, but you know more about follicles than I do and hair, but it's got to take more if you leave it in no matter what it is. No?
and I mean, I think if you do it over time, it helps. One time doing it for 30 minutes is not going to help, but several times of doing it for 30 minutes would help, especially if you have coarse, dry hair.
Yeah, absolutely. I've tried the mayonnaise, I've tried the egg yolk, I've done the olive oil, I've done all of that stuff. That
But
even,
I've never thought the olive oil was good. I've never thought the eggs were good. Just a good solid conditioner is the best
I,
way to go.
I'm with you. All right. Now, let's talk about, over the years, you have been in business for 44 years, which is an amazing thing. How has the product, the manufacturing, what has changed? I mean, you said overall it's pretty much the same thing, but the new adhesives, new techniques, but what really has changed the most?
Just going to the bonding. When I first started in 81, we were just doing daily wear, and over towards the end of the 80s is when Hair Club really came into play and started doing the bonding. Of course, the bonding they were doing at the time was the bonding that caused you to have more hair loss. And now we're not doing that type bonding. We're only bonding to the skin. That the bonding back then was they would actually let the piece hang over into the good hair about a half inch to an inch and bond to that hair. But then over a period of 2 weeks of that pulling of the hair, it would pull that hair out and they'd have to make the piece even bigger and bigger. And that's when we went to the full head bonds we have now, that we bond just to the skin.
Fascinating. I still don't know how it's done, but seeing is believing. Hence, we ask you to go to your. Okay.
When I just hired a new girl, and every time I hire someone, I tell them just don't worry about it. It's going to take 3 to 6 months to make the turn because there's not one client that's the same. Everyone's a little bit different, and you just have to learn the process. And they all see after about the fourth or fifth month, they start seeing everything multiple times, and then they're able to be more comfortable with it. So there's no way anybody could just jump into this industry and learn something in a couple of days.
Got it. Takes time, technique, and even now, with you, you have your trained staff that does this work. And are they, I mean, they're also hairstylists too. I'm sure you've hired plenty of people that are
Yeah, they have to
hairstylists,
be.
right? Oh,
They
okay.
have.
Got it.
They
Okay.
can't touch the head unless they are hairstylists.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, okay, great. I didn't know if it was a whole separate entity, but that's even better. And now you're able to still style, do cuts and everything on the head, but you usually do it ahead of time, or I guess it all depends. You want to cut it around the face when you put it on.
We do all the cutting once it's put on the head.
All right.
Yeah.
And clearly you have a passion, you love what you do. Do you see anything else coming in the future? Look, we could be honest, there's surgeries out there. People can get surgeries done, right? I don't know
There'll
what it is.
always be that person that has to have the surgery. There'll always be that person that will not wear a hairpiece. But I
Hmm.
will say this: we have a lot of clients, mostly men, who've had surgery and they were very unhappy with it, and now they're wearing hair.
Okay. And I even heard recently something I've never heard before, Randy, because I'm not in I guess your line of work, but I didn't know that they were actually like, for us women, they tattoo eyebrows or they tattoo permanent makeup. They're tattooing hairlines to men.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was possible, to be
Well,
honest.
they're doing is they're making it look like a burr, and then the men keep their hair short. But sadly, with tattooing over the years, it's going to
Fading,
change. It fades,
discolors.
changes colors. So it's going to be interesting
Then
to
it
see
could
how.
all blend. All your nice little like hair
Yeah,
looking follicle, then it's like a big bleed, and it's like, hi, I have a giant tattoo. It looks like Ireland on my head. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And then they're gonna come back to you. So let them try whatever they want to try.
yeah.
But
There's
um,
always going to be some twist on it.
yeah. Of course. Well, sad to say that this is our last show together. We spent many months talking about your hair systems. And again, I want to remind everyone how we reach out to you here. Randy Clark Associates. By the way, tell us phone number, office address, anything, any way that you want us to reach out to you.
Phone number is 972-239-0291. And my email is randy@randyclark.com. And you can find our address easily just by going to www.randyclark.com. It gives you everything that you need to know as far as where we're at, what we do.
Awesome. Well, you still have 7 minutes left, so enlighten us. What did you want to discuss for today? Again, like I said, it is our last show. What would you say to someone out there who's been toying with this idea, and if they, maybe live afar, like give us your insight.
You know, it's like this. People are always worried about wasting their money, whether it be going to dinner and to a nice restaurant and it didn't turn out. But that's life. You take chances. And if this is something that really, really bothers you, what do you have to lose? Just try it.
I agree.
I mean, you don't know until you try.
And you do offer a free consultation, correct?
We offer free. Actually, what I do is when a client comes in, I'll usually find a client that's already in one of the rooms, and I'll say, "Do you mind if I let somebody come in and sit in?" So they'll go in and sit into the service, and that pretty much locks it in.
Seeing is believing, and that's awesome too. So you can always reach out to someone else. You're that way. You're very open, which is good, because people want to see, they want to feel, they want to touch, they want to learn about it. But the seeing is believing, absolutely. And is there certain times of the year where it's busier for you, or things going, I would just think like New Year, people like want to make a change. Or is the office more packed now, or is it always packed?
Actually, it's more hectic during when Thanksgiving starts, because you have Thanksgiving, and then a few weeks later you've got Christmas and New Year. So everybody's the clients that are not good about making appointments are the ones that always went at the last minute. And luckily it's only about 5%, but the holidays are usually just a very hectic time.
Got it. And now, I mean, you're in full swing. And what other things, could people, is there any side effects, any harm, give us the bad, right? There's always good, but there could be bad. What is the bad that we need to be warned about just in case?
The worst thing that can happen in this industry is if someone sells a piece to someone and they bond it and they don't put them on a regular service program. A lot of people, if someone came into me and said, "Well, look, I just don't want to come in every 2 weeks. I want to come in every 6 weeks," and I would say, "Well, then I can't do it," because very, very, very few people, less than 5%, could actually go 6 weeks. Okay, and with this type of bonding, if you do not take care of it properly, you can get a fungal infection, and yes, and it's not fun. You may have to go without the piece for a week or 10 days while your head clears up. And sometimes when you get these infections, they clear up. But what happens is it makes that person allergic to that bond going forward. So their only option is to do daily wear.
Got it.
So it's real important to know how often you need to come in. And the sad part about it, you really don't know 100% what a client is gonna do the best. It takes about 2 to 4 weeks to figure out where the client is, whether they can go 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 5 weeks.
And yeah, I can only imagine. Have you had someone come in where it's like a bird's nest, like so bad? Like, what did you do? And they're probably like regretting it, but they got to come back, right?
Well, I mean, I haven't had anybody that I've worked on in that situation, but I've had people come in from other places. I mean, I had some problems with this about 20 years ago, and I learned really quick. I had to control the situation. So it's either, follow our rules or we can't do it.
Got it.
I don't want anybody unhappy.
No, I get it. And that's another thing. You guarantee satisfaction guarantee, as Randy says.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in your course of 44 years, you said you had one client only that walked away, or that you said, okay, like it was a very hard client to deal with. Couldn't make them happy no matter what you did, right?
No. I've had one that just didn't like it, but I've had several.
That was it. Okay.
I've had several that I've fired because they're just not happy people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't make everybody happy.
That is true, but you're clearly doing a majority. And again, if you are interested in working with Randy, give him a call, pay him a visit, free consultation. And I hope next time I'm in the, let's see, Dallas area, I will swing by and maybe I can meet you because I got to bring my kids out there. They've never been. And my son's name is Austin, right? So I want to bring him to Austin and have family down there. But I would also do the drive to San Antonio, to Dallas, show them around, and maybe I'll stop by and say hi.
Well, how old are your children?
7 and 9. Now it's going to be 8 and 10. One just turned 10. The other one's turning 8. So it's hard
Well,
for me to get used to.
If you
Go
make
ahead.
it to Texas and you want to drive out to the ranch, they can come see the horses
Oh my
and the
goodness.
cows.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So I won't say goodbye. I will say till next time because I've bonded with you like the adhesive on the head. But really, you're a great guy, and I love your energy, your personality, your dedication, and to your clients, and your belief and your passion in what you do. So wishing you and your family the best here in this January, and I hope it's going to warm up for you in Dallas. Has it yet?
It's about 50 right now.
It's warmed up. You're good. I don't feel too bad. When it was in the 40s, no. But really, thank you so much. So hopefully we will connect again in the future. And I want to thank you for being a part of the show and for coming on and committing to these shows. And I hope our clients have reached out or continue to and, tell their friends about you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Randy, you have a great day. Thanks
take care.
again. I will.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.